Okay, so Dad, we're about to dive in, and one of the topics that actually producer Britt actually brought to the show earlier this week
Mm.
was just talking about what is going on with the Ozempic lawsuit.
Oh
Britt,
man,
Britt,
scary.
what is Ozempic? Because you the one who introduced me to Ozempic. And I was like, what is
Don't say it
this?
like that, like I use it. Okay,
No,
so
no, no.
Ozempic, it's a way. It is a Ozempic. Okay, so I have the definition here. Ozempic, the diabetes drug turned global weight loss phenomenon, is under intense legal and medical scrutiny. So this breakthrough drug was a safe and shortcut way of shedding kilos. This
Mm,
injectable face now is facing a $2 billion lawsuit in the
mm,
United States, with
wow.
patients reporting severe side effects ranging from stomach paralysis to vision loss. So Ozempic is ultimately a diabetes drug, but it is used as a weight loss drug, for people that purchase it, and it's supposed to
Mm,
help you shed the kilos, keep the weight down,
wow.
and now they're having side effects. So, as if what is going on, I'll pass that over to Attorney Fred Jones. What's happening? $2 billion. It's a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. You see these issues, right?
Hmm.
This all stems down to people want shortcuts.
Hmm.
Hmm. Yeah.
People want the easy way to do things. And businesses look to give answers to people's problems. Businesses look to find a way to help you. So the
Yeah.
Hmm.
pharmaceutical industry was looking to solve a problem, and we all know the bigger the problem we solve, the bigger the reward, the bigger the payoff, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
so you got a lawsuit going here. Well, there's something that we have to think about. Every act of man
Hmm.
that causes harm to another obliges him by whose fault the harm occurred to repair it. Okay?
Mm,
Hmm.
Basically, if you cause harm to somebody else, you got to fix it.
mm.
But wait a minute. Not so fast, right? How many of y'all go to the hospital and you sign all these documents? You sign here, you sign here,
Mm.
you
Yep.
sign here, you sign here, and you sign things you don't even be reading, right?
Hmm.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very
yeah, yeah.
guilty. Yeah.
Guilty.
Uh-huh.
Guilty.
And so that's what's going on here. But here's the deal.
Hmm.
If you hurt somebody and it is found intentional or
Hmm.
it is found to be negligent on the part of the manufacturer, you're going to have problems. And these people are losing sight, are going blind. All these injuries are permanent injuries that people are experiencing as a result of using this drug. I don't think they signed up for that.
Right,
Mm.
exactly. Yes,
Yeah. Yeah,
100%.
and then one thing I also was seeing when we're looking at the article was
Mhm.
it says Novo Nordisk maintains that the drug is safe when it's used as directed with the label. So that it's saying that the labels warned about the gastrointestinal side effects. However,
Mm.
critics and other people are saying that the off-label use for weight loss was under communicated, right?
Yep, yep, that's what I see. Yeah.
So then understand that even to what you're saying, Dad, is saying, okay, well, yeah, the certain things might have been said, right, to where maybe showing the least amount of the side effects, but
Mhm.
you didn't clearly communicate those to me. If you take this, then this is what could happen on the far end, not just this is what might happen. So
Mm.
even looking at that and understanding that, like, would that make who would that make more at fault, right? Would it be the people who are just signing up and going through with these with Ozempic, or would this be I don't want to say the distributor?
Like the company that made it, because they're not making them fully aware of
Mm,
what could happen. And it's like, okay, well, you signed this, you didn't read this, because this is actually what could happen. And I think, like, on sometimes on those weight loss drugs, just in general, they say read, it goes so fast at the end of the commercial, and it's like you don't necessarily listen or you don't necessarily read it, but they say it, but they're not like it's not their first thing to say. So like it's in there somewhere, I'm sure, but
Mm.
people just aren't reading it. Go, yes, Attorney Frederick.
We call that misrepresentation.
Mm.
Mm.
When you misrepresent a material fact
Mm-hmm.
or a material factor that misleads the consumer and
Mm-hmm.
causes them to rely on your information to their detriment,
Wow.
we could have a problem. It's
Yeah.
misrepresentation, misleading, and if it's fraudulent, then the courts are going to have a problem with that.
Mm.
My.
So
And
is the
that's what,
two? So will the $2 billion, is that going to be, kind of like our AT&T lawsuit that just happened, and if you sign up for the settlement, you might get a check or you might not. Is it gonna go? Do you believe that it'll go to the consumers, or is that how do you think that if they win, if they lose, how did the $2 billion work?
well, in this case, you've heard of class action lawsuits, right?
Mm-hmm.
Class action
Hmm.
is a whole bunch of people get together and form a class.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when you have a lot of people being injured by the same tortfeasor or the
Mm-hmm.
wrongdoer, then the
Hmm.
court is going to put all those cases together, or the court can put all those cases together. And what we call it is multi district litigation. Okay,
Mm.
MDL, multi district litigation. And then what the courts want to do is simplify the recovery process. And in simplifying the recovery process, we put all these cases in a bundle and we put all the plaintiffs in a group and we put this a big amount of money out there and it's divvied out or divided up and everybody gets a little something, but you don't get as much in a case like
Mm.
as if you sued the company individually and won your own case. However, to sue a company like this individually and win your own case would cost you an arm and a leg, right? And the
Mm-hmm.
reason why people get together in a big group like this is because you got all these law firms coming together to fund that litigation. So it's he
Got
or
it.
she who has the goal ultimately still make the rules.
Mm.
Well,
Okay.
here's also something I'm curious about. So I know that it said that, and different articles have said 1,200 plus cases, and then I see it even climbing to like 2,200 cases and different things like that.
Mm.
So in one of those situations to where it's a class action lawsuit, there's there's anywhere from 1,500 to upwards of however many people who are in this class. What happens if the lawsuit is already progressing, but then other people are coming as the lawsuit is already in motion? Like what is like what happens there? Is there has to be a separate suit, or how does that even work?
Oh, that's an excellent question. Great question. There's the time that the class is open, and then
Mm-hmm.
there's a time that the
Mm.
class is closed. Class starts now, class ends at this time. When the
Mm.
notice goes out that there's a class action lawsuit, there's a time for the parties to join, participate, get notice. Notice is going to go out. That's why you see these television commercials. If you've been hurt, if you've been harmed, if you know
Mm.
somebody who's been hurt, or know
Mm.
somebody who's been informed, all that notice is going out to the public, and it's in that time. That's the time to sign up, okay? But when that window is gone, that window is gone, and you'll have to seek other avenues to possibly recover.
Wow.
Okay. And just to give a little background on how the lawsuit started. The first lawsuit was filed in August 2023 by a woman named Book Jacqueline B. Who alleged she developed stomach paralysis and vision loss after using Ozempic. By February 2024, so many similar cases have been filed that the U.S. court consolidated them into a single proceeding, known as multi-district litigation in Pennsylvania.
Mm.
This step helps streamline cases that are involved in the same drug, and exactly what Attorney Jones was telling us. So the lawsuit happened 2 years ago, and
Mm.
now it's crazy how we're just learning about it because It happened 2 years ago. So why do you think that we're just now learning about it?
Heard the old expression, the wheels of justice turn slow. The
Hmm.
Mhm.
wheels of justice turn slow. So something can happen, but
Mm-hmm.
then later it have an echo.
Mm.
Oftentimes something can start and it doesn't get the attention of the press. It doesn't get much media, number
Mm-hmm.
one. Number
Mm-hmm.
two, it's kind of like the snowball effect. It starts off small, but then it builds as it goes. One person
Mm.
stands up and says, oh, this happened to me, and another says, oh, this happened to me, and then 10 others jump up. Wait a minute, we got an epidemic. Then the media comes in. We need to bring some attention to this matter. People are being hurt every day. It always
Right.
amazes me. We live in a celebrity culture. We
Mm-hmm.
like our stars. We like the Hollywood and all that. So when something happened to one of those people, we act like, oh, that was horrible. But when it's happening to everyday people who don't get the attention of the press,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't seem as bad. It
Yeah.
comes to our attention now because there's such a great number of people who's been harmed by the same possible company.
Gotcha. Okay. And my last question is, how do they normally come up with the number, the class action number, the 2 billion?
Mm.
Is it just thrown out there, or
Good.
how do we get there?
It's kind of like insurance companies do these actuaries. Okay,
Mm.
they
Mm-hmm.
do an actuary. How much is this life worth? Okay, the life.
Mm.
What is the life expectancy of this person? And
Wow.
what's the life expectancy of that person? So we have to understand that in the eyes of the law, money make the plaintiff whole. Money makes the person complete. We measure everything by money in our society. Okay,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
so if somebody 30 years old was hurt by this drug versus somebody who's 60 years old was hurt by the drug, who's going to get the higher award? It's going to be the 30-year-old because they had the longer life expectancy. So we look at what the court has awarded in the past. We look at insurance actuaries of how much value is put on this person's life or that person's life. And law firms do the math to come up with what's the value of the potential value of this particular case.
Hmm.
Mm.
Understood. Jonathan?
Wow. No, no, no. I'm good. I had no idea about any of this. This is good
Yeah.
information. Just to be able to hear and even like the value of somebody's life, even
Mm-hmm.
like quantifying that is mind blowing. But also still paralleling it with these people are being affected by a product that was put out, so they should be compensated in some way, shape, or form. They
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
should be.
think
Mm-hmm.
about child support. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you quantify that and you
Mm-hmm.
calculate that for 18 years, and then you have to pay X amount for 18 years. When you put it thinking about it like that, now you put some money on that thing.
Yeah.
you
Yeah, that's true.
you gonna look at that little crumb snatcher a little bit different.
Uh-huh.
My,
That is
my.
funny. That is
Okay.
funny. And
Okay.
okay, and before we move on, when it comes to how many um um lawyers that are involved or agencies that are
Mm.
involved, how does that work? Is it because Jacqueline, she filed, and her law group said something, and then somebody else said something, so everybody just said we got to come together? Is that how that works, or?
As many as necessary. As many as
Mm.
necessary. You build the team. Now,
Oh,
Mm.
okay.
remember, you got to you go into battle. The pharmaceutical
Mhm.
companies are not poor. They're not
Mm.
Right.
and they're not eating cheese and crackers. Okay. So if you're going to sue the pharmaceutical company, you better bring your big guns. You better come with your
Mm.
big boy boxers on, right? And
Wow.
you better
Gotcha.
bring your big boy team. So you better lawyer up real good. So you got plaintiff teams and then you got the corporate defense. Okay. And so how many
Mm.
lawyers you need? As many as necessary. You bring in the best experts if you're going to prevail and get anything for your
Mhm.
client.
Wow.
That
Okay.
makes sense.
Remember, P. Diddy had 8.
He had 8. Yes, he did.
Mm.
He had 8. Yep.
Okay.
And
Okay.
he
He and
got.
he and he is he still in
eh,
jail or has he walked out yet? I don't know. I hadn't been
Oh no,
following.
he's still there till
He's
October.
still,
Well, not till October, but his sentencing is
yeah,
in October.
he's
So
still
Mm.
he's
he'll
still in
walk
there.
out. You're
I
welcome.
know. I think that too. I think that too, Dr. Jones. That's crazy.
Man.
Okay, so we're gonna take a quick commercial break. This was great, and then we'll come back with our next topic. We're talking about how the Texas House finally passed the redistricting map, and I just want to get into that because that is very interesting. So stay tuned. We'll be right back. More Speak Your Success.